Welcome to the Whisper News channel. It has been reported recently that the Ukrainian Air Force has shot down dozens of Iranian-made UAVs in the last 24 hours. This means that drones have become effective in combat after a series of similar incidents in recent weeks. According to reports, Ukrainian forces captured and destroyed a large number of drones flown over Ukrainian territory by Russian-backed separatists. The drones in question are reportedly of Iranian origin, raising concerns about Iran's alleged involvement in the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine. This is not the first time Iran has been accused of supplying military equipment to anti-government forces in Ukraine. In 2022, Iran reportedly supplied rockets and other weapons to separatist forces in eastern Ukraine, which Iran denied. The use of UAVs in combat has become increasingly common in recent years, as they offer a relatively inexpensive and efficient method of gathering intelligence and carrying out attacks. However, drones also present significant risks and challenges for armies, including being difficult to detect and intercept. As a result, countries around the world are working to develop new technologies and strategies to counter drone threats. This includes the development of new anti-aircraft weapons such as microwave systems and laser weapons, as well as the use of more traditional weapons such as anti-aircraft missiles. Overall, recent events involving Iranian-made UAVs in Ukraine highlight the ongoing challenges and risks associated with the use of UAVs in combat. As tensions continue to rise in Ukraine, we will see what other strategies and technologies will be used to counter this growing threat. In the process, Germany's Rheinmetall is preparing to supply the Ukrainian armed forces with new ammunition that will help them shoot down Russian drones. The new anti-aircraft munitions were designed for Gepard self-propelled guns, which were considered crucial for operations against unmanned aerial vehicles. Rheinmetall is expected to supply 300,000 shells for Gepard, of which about 40,000 will be delivered in 2023. The launch of new ammunition for Gepard weapons will help fill the urgent shortage of ammunition that the Ukrainian military has faced in recent years in its efforts to bring down Russian drones frequently. Since there are no documents on the management of Gepard weapons dating back to the 1980s, the new ammunition is believed to have been developed through a process of adapting existing infantry fighting vehicle shells. It is noted that Rheinmetall installed a new production line in record time at its factory in Unterlüss, Lower Saxony, to meet demand from Ukraine. This is a remarkable achievement in the context of the supply chain challenges facing defense contractors in the current market. The process of building a new production line is often said to take years, but Rheinmetall was able to do so in a matter of months in response to Ukraine's urgent demand for anti-drone munitions. Ukraine has faced a number of drone strike attempts in recent years, and the supply of new anti-aircraft ammunition for Gepard weapons appears to be aimed at boosting the country's defense capabilities in this area, which is seen as critical to countering the air threat posed by the Russian military. The news comes after Germany announced earlier this month a shipment of military aid to Ukraine containing 6 Gepard anti-aircraft systems, 3,230 155mm shells and other supplies. It also follows reports that Germany, in partnership with the United States, will deliver 45 more Gepard anti-aircraft systems to Ukraine by the end of the year, demonstrating increased German support for the Ukrainian military as the country seeks to counter the ongoing threat from Russia. Overall, the provision of new anti-aircraft munitions for Gepard weapons underlines the importance of innovation and adaptation in the defense industry, particularly in the face of new and emerging security threats. As Ukraine continues to meet the challenge of defending itself against drone attacks, it remains to see what other technologies and strategies will be used to address this complex and ongoing problem. In addition, Ukrainian forces developed a permanent solution to destroy Russian drones. Ukraine is developing its own medium-range air defense systems. In an important development, it turned out that Ukraine has successfully developed and is currently testing its own air defense systems. Yehor Cherniv, Deputy of Ukraine of the Servant of the People Party and Deputy Chairman of the Verkhovna Rada Committee on National Security, Defense and Intelligence, made this announcement. According to Cherniv, these air defense systems are medium-range and are the result of Ukrainian production and development. Patriot is comparable to systems like Hawk, although not on the same level as internationally renowned systems like SAMP or IRIS-T. Cherniv emphasized that the Ukrainian systems have passed successful tests and the missiles have already been developed. The news came shortly after the Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, Oleksiy Danilov, stated that Ukraine's defense industry is already producing tools that will allow the country to protect its port infrastructure from possible Russian attacks. The development of domestic medium-range air defense systems is a significant achievement for Ukraine. By relying on its own production capability, Ukraine reduces its dependence on external suppliers and strengthens its self-sufficiency in the face of security threats. These new air defense systems express Ukraine's commitment to improving its defense capabilities and preserving its sovereignty. With ongoing testing and development, Ukraine is well on its way to strengthening its line of defense and protecting its borders against potential enemies. It is very important to appreciate the efforts of Ukrainian scientists, engineers, and the defense industry to reach this milestone. Their dedication and innovation paved the way for the development of these medium-range air defense systems, which has positioned Ukraine as a capable player in the field of global defense. As Ukraine continues to overcome its security challenges, the successful development of these air defense systems represents an important step towards protecting its national interests. Progress in Ukraine's defense sector demonstrates the country's determination to remain confident and resilient in the face of external threats. In general, the development and testing of Ukraine's own medium-range air defense systems demonstrates the country's determination to improve its defense capabilities, reduce dependence on foreign suppliers, and increase national security. This success will undoubtedly contribute to the strengthening of Ukraine's position in the global defense field and the preservation of its sovereignty. The political situation between Ukraine and Russia escalated after Ukraine dropped cluster munitions on Russian territory, prompting condemnation and accusations from Russia. The Belgorod regional governor claimed that Ukraine fired 21 artillery shells and 3 cluster grenades at the Russian village of Zhuravlevka, but no casualties were reported. Controversy over cluster bombs intensified earlier this month when it was reported that they were purchased from the United States. In addition to the cluster bomb allegations, Igor Girkin, a senior Kremlin critic, was arrested for inciting extremism in Russia. The charges included a maximum sentence of 5 years, which Girkin denied. The arrest comes after Yevgeny Prigozhin, boss of Wagner mercenaries, another high-profile critic of Russia's top military officials, led a failed revolt last month. Girkin, also known as Igor Strelkov, a former FSB officer and battlefield commander, helped Russia take control of Crimea in 2014 and organized pro-Russian militias that took eastern Ukraine out of Kiev's control. He was later accused of committing war crimes in Ukraine by both Ukrainian authorities and Western human rights groups, but he denied it. In 2022, he was sentenced to life imprisonment in absentia by a Dutch court for his alleged role in the 2014 crash of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 over eastern Ukraine with the loss of 298 passengers and crew. Tensions between Russia and NATO member Poland escalated after Poland announced it would withdraw its troops near the Belarusian border. Russia also attacked Ukraine's food export facilities for 4 days in a row and seized ships in the Black Sea after Kiev promised to oppose the naval blockade of Russia's export ports, further intensifying the political situation. The United States has offered Ukraine up to $400 million in military support, consisting mainly of artillery, air defense missiles, and ground vehicles, to support the Kiev counteroffensive. This aid has sparked controversy, however, given growing political tensions between Ukraine and Russia and concerns about the risk of a greater military conflict between the two countries. Overall, The political situation between Russia and Ukraine seems to be escalating as accusations and counter-accusations escalate tensions between the countries. These recent events highlight the need for diplomatic efforts to resolve the situation and potentially prevent the outbreak of a larger military conflict in the region. We will continue to report the events in the coming hours to you quickly and accurately. We continue to inform you objectively about the events. You can like the videos to support us. You can also subscribe to the channel to make it easier to follow new videos. I wish you all happy days. See you later.